viser, og velkommen til Menneskenes første afsnit. Jeg hedder Simon.
Og jeg hedder Nero.
Vi er her i København på vej hen til bar 25 for at se to rigtig lækre drinks blive lavet.
Vi skal tale lidt med Ted, som lige har fået titlen som Danmarks bedste bartender. Og her skal han trylle lidt for os. Vi kommer til at snakke lidt med ham om hans baggrund, hvorfor han havnede i den branche, som han er, og hvad gode cocktails er.
Lige præcis.
I øvrigt så skal vi lige fortælle, at bar 25, som Ted også arbejder på, er lige blevet kåret af AOK til at være Københavns bedste bar.
Det er det.
Så lad os komme ind og se, hvad vi får præsenteret. Hey.
Det synes jeg. Hej.
Hi, my name is Ted. I work at Bar 25 in central Copenhagen. I'm from Sweden. I'm 23 years old and I have about 3 years of experience with bartending. Well, a good cocktail for me has, first of all, ingredients that works well together. And then I think it's important for a good drink to have a good story behind it. So a drink that I like to make is, for example, a 12-mile limit, which is an old kind of forgotten classic, which is from the Prohibition era in America, where when you weren't allowed to drink, a lot of people didn't know where they weren't allowed to drink. Like when you cross the border, where are you allowed to drink there? And at the coast, where are you allowed to drink? So they came up with a rule that 12 miles from the coast, you're no longer in the States, and then you're allowed to drink. So what people did was that they took boats out and they had boat parties where they drank what they had during Prohibition, what they could import, rye whiskey, rum, cognac or brandy, and mixed it up with lemon juice and grenadine to make it taste better, and that's what's in the drink. So that for me is a good drink. I think it depends on who you ask and what people's opinions are. To be honest, I don't know the definition of the drink and the cocktail, but in my opinion, a cocktail is something where you have a bit more ingredients, where you put an effort into making a good drink. You know, it's still a drink, but a drink could be gin and juice or a gin and tonic, and a drink is also a cocktail, but I think a cocktail is a more fancy word for a drink. Well, I want to start by saying that a lot of people think that it means that you're the best bartender in Denmark, but not all of the bartenders competed. It's the unofficial championship, so to say. So I won world class, yes. I don't want to say that I'm the best bartender in Denmark because I know a lot of good bartenders, but yes, I won the competition and it feels amazing. It's, I don't know, overwhelming. I know that a lot of people didn't believe that I would win. Some of the times neither did I, but it really feels amazing. It feels amazing that you can show what you can do and get good feedback on what you have prepared for a long time. So I'm flying. Yeah, well, it started in Val Thorens, France, where I was snowboarding, actually, trying to become a professional snowboarder. And I had to pay my rent during the season, so I started working in the bar as a busboy then, and I advanced to a bartender, and I couldn't believe that I could get paid to do what I did there. I mean, I was having a party behind the bar, I was having fun, and I was getting paid for it. So that's where it started. I came home to Sweden and I got a job in a nightclub. I then later moved to Copenhagen for my Danish girlfriend and got a job at Bar 7, where I started developing this interest for making cocktails, flavor combinations, competing, and yeah, so here I am now. Man, it's amazing. I mean, I've been working for Shane, the owner of Bar 7, for close to 3 years now. And I've been working in Bar 7, learning a lot from the old manager and developing my, as I said, interest for making drinks. And I felt that I could move on because Bar 7 is quite a party bar, and I felt like I need some more challenges. And he said that he was going to open Bar 25, and I've been a part of it since we did. And it feels amazing. I mean, the fact that your ideas and your vision of a good bar turns out to get the award of Copenhagen's best cocktail bar it's an amazing feeling. It's insane. I think a lot of people in Copenhagen like sweet drinks. People have quite a sweet tooth when it comes to, they associate cocktails with like desserts and sweets, and we try to kind of move away from it because we want to focus more on the taste of the alcohols and the different syrups and juices that we can make. And I don't know, mojito, it's a classic. A lot of people orders that. I try to introduce them to new things, and if I can't convince them to try new drinks, which maybe are a bit more boozy or bitter or some sour, sometimes I tell them I'm so confident that this drink is good that if you don't like it, I'll take it back, I'll drink it, and I'll make you a new one. The cocktail culture in Copenhagen is amazing. Even though I think most people would consider Denmark to be a beer country, I think that the cocktail culture here is amazing. People are willing to try, and we have a lot of cocktail bars. But if you look at where it all started and where the origin of this cocktail culture comes from, it's America. I mean, New Orleans has had a cocktail culture for ages, and most of the classic drinks, like the Old Fashioned, like the Manhattan, they come from the States. So, well, you can look at it two ways. It can be a drink that you look good with. You can order a drink for you that you will look good at, like, you know, Don Draper with an Old Fashioned from Mad Men, or it could be what drink you want to serve your girl. And I think when it comes to drinks that you will look good with as a guy, I think Old Fashioned is a good drink. It's simple yet complex. It shows that you know your spirits because you can pick whatever whiskey you want in it. It has survived the test of time. I mean, it's been around for centuries. And when it comes to girly drinks, as I said, most girls like sweet drinks. But we have a drink which I made for World Class competition, which is called Queen Mary's Afternoon Delight. So I think that if you buy that for a girl and say that this is a drink for queens, you'll probably be okay. Try some old school classic cocktails and see what you think. Don't be afraid of tasting the booze.
Thank you.
Nah, no worries.
Okay, so today I want to make you two drinks, one for the guys and one for the girls. And if we start with the ultimate gentleman drink, which in my opinion is an Old Fashioned. The Old Fashioned is the first drink to ever be mentioned as a cocktail, so to say, in the beginning of the 19th century. And it has survived the test of time, if you can say. And it's a very basic cocktail, but yet quite complex. It has sugar that I just put in. It has Angostura bitters. And we mix it up a little bit with some orange bitters. But if you want to make this at home, it's okay only to use Angostura bitters. And what you then do is that you dissolve your sugar into your bitters with a little bit of whiskey. And the classic Old Fashioned is made on a bourbon. Now, an Old Fashioned could be made with any kind of spirit. You can make it with rum, you can make it with scotch, even if some people might not think that's good because you're ruining the scotch. But in my opinion, you can make it with any spirit you want. The classic one though is with bourbon, as I said, because that's where the cocktail comes from, America. So what they had available when that was made was bourbon, rye whiskey, maybe Irish whiskey, maybe some rum. In the beginning, the first most popular Old Fashioned was with rye whiskey, but now it's with bourbon. And the only difference is a bourbon has rye in it as well, but it's made from corn. Minimum 50% corn. A rye whiskey is minimum 50% rye. and then corn or wheat or whatever you'll have in it as well. But here we go. What you have to do is you have to dissolve the sugar. And you'll pour in your bourbon 2 times to dilute the drink to get the 4th ingredients, which is water. So by melting the ice, you're diluting the drink with water, which is what they had to do in the early 19th century in America. The booze was so bad that they mixed it up with bitters, sugar, and water. And that's the first, as I said, first time the word cocktail was mentioned. And if you order this in a bar, you have to be patient. You have to understand that it takes quite a while to make this drink, but when it's finally done, it will be worth it. Here we go, more ice to dilute it a little bit more. And 3 more centiliters of bourbon. And the bourbon that I'm using is a bullet bourbon. It is quite high in rye. About between 20 and 30% of rye in the bourbon is high. You can find other ones which has more corn and wheat, which will be a bit more sweet. But as I said, when you make old fashions, you can use whatever spirit you want. Maybe you can even use a scotch, like a monkey shoulder. Or you can make it with rum. You can make it with tequila. You can make it with mezcal. But the most common one nowadays is with bourbon. So the sugar should be dissolving into the drink. And you can find this drink in many different variations because, as I said, it's been around since the early 19th century and people have been making their own twists on it. I add orange bitters. To be honest, I don't think it makes quite a big difference, but some people maybe muddle cherries in it, muddle oranges in it. There we go. And I think that it's ruining the drink if you mix it up too much with your own twist. If you ordered it in the early 20th century, you would get it with muddled oranges, muddled cherries, which I think ruins the beautiful appearance of this drink. So the way I make it is the old school classic way with only 4 ingredients: bitters, some kind of spirit, water, and bourbon. You rim a glass with some orange peel in order to get a more fruity orange oil smell. And then take the orange peel and put it on top. Now here some bartenders might put a cherry on top. That's up to you. If you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't like it, you don't have to. This is how I prefer to do it. Simple. Doesn't need much to buy it. You can make it at home. And that's a classic old-fashioned. Okay, so second drink. If you guys want to score, you want to make a drink for the girls, I have one from my competition, the world class, where we got thrown in a room with a lot of ingredients and we had to come out with 2 drinks, which were contrary. So my contrary was I wanted to make one for the queen and one for the king, one hot and one cold. So this is the cold drink for the queen, which is called Queen Mary's Afternoon Delight. Which my story was that King George V, which I was making a drink for as well, was in the Royal Navy. And he had friends over in South America, where he could get Ranzacapa from. And since it was their 23 years anniversary, he got the Ranzacapa 23 Solera. So that's the rum that I'm using for the drink for the queen. And which girl doesn't like raspberries. So we're using some raspberry puree. And to balance the drink out, you need some kind of sourness and some kind of sweetness. So as for the sourness, I have some lemon juice. And the sweetness, some honey syrup. Shake it up to make it refreshingly cold. And what works well with raspberries is a thyme, like this. So I've made a syrup out of thyme, which I'll add to the drink to get a more floral note that really works with the sweetness and the freshness of the raspberries. So here I'm using something that I call cold shake, where you strain out the ice, the drink is already cold, and you shake it again without ice. Now if you want to make this drink at home to impress the girl you have at home or the guys you have at home, you can put your glasses in the freezer. It has quite a cool appearance when you take it out. So if you want to impress the girls and buy them a drink, this is a drink for queens, and I don't think any girl will be disappointed if you tell them that you just bought them a drink that is for queen. So there we go. This is Queen Mary's Afternoon Delight.